What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I apologize if there's a lot of background noise with anything, so I just thought I'd preface that before I get into today's video. But the topic that I wanted to talk about is I wanted to address the couple things that I wish I knew before I started wrapping my car. And for those of you who don't know, I recently just wrapped my car by myself with my family. You know, it's the first time we ever wrapped anything, and it was a good experience, but it was also a bad experience because we didn't know what we were doing the majority of the time. So I want to give you guys a few tips, a few things to look for if you guys are looking forward to wrapping your car for yourself, or if you're like, you know, you're a seasoned vet and you're like, damn, what the hell is this dude talking about? Let's see if he knows what he's actually doing. So either way, get your water, get your popcorn, enjoy the video. So the first thing that I would suggest to anyone that is going to wrap their car to do is to start off with these smaller pieces first. This probably sounds like something that's pretty straightforward, but if you think about it, you're pretty excited. You know, you just got the wrap, you're like, damn, my car's gonna be a different color, and you just wanna go ham. Like, you just wanna go in, see what you can do, but you wanna start off with the smaller pieces that are very easy to do to build that confidence if it is your first time wrapping. Because you don't wanna start off with a big piece like the bumper or even like the trunk, and it's like super difficult and you're like, damn, I don't even want to do this anymore. So if we're looking at the car, what I did first and what I would suggest anyone to do is start off with the front fender. I found this to be a very, very easy part to wrap when I first started compared to, you know, like the bumper, the trunk spoilers. So the reason why I found this part very easy because it was a lot of smooth and straight pieces. There wasn't a lot of curves. Obviously you do see like this body line here and this body line here, which you will have to figure out how to do. But I found this part very easy because it was pretty small and it wasn't too difficult to wrap, because once you got the top portions done and it came down from like anywhere from here down, pretty easy. So that's tip number one, and I suggest the front fender just because that was one of the first pieces that I wrapped myself, and it actually wasn't too difficult. And then once we moved on to everything else, I was like, you know what, it's actually not bad. And then it gave me the confidence to, you know, move on to the doors, the hood, the bumpers, all that stuff. So tip number one, make sure you start up with the small pieces first, gain that confidence, and then you can move on to the other pieces. So the next tip I want to give you guys, and just basing off of the first one, is you want to have more material than you anticipate yourself using. The more material, the better. And the reason why I say this is because if it's your first time wrapping, sometimes, you know, you might mess up. There could be good chances, you know, you rip through the wrap, or like, you know, it's just you overheated too much, or you cut out less than what you needed and you need to cut more, stuff like that. You want to make sure you have as much material as you can use as possible. So I mentioned this in my video. This is the second piece that I used for the hood, because we ripped through the first one just because we overheated it and caused a hole. So obviously, if there's a hole in there, you can't just use that piece. You're gonna see like little indents here and there. So make sure you have more material, the better. So I know 3M and I know Avery offer a good amount of wrap. So if you're wrapping a full-size car like mine, you want to make sure you get the largest roll. So when I ordered my wrap from Tech Wrap, I ordered the biggest roll that they had, and I felt like that wasn't even enough. So if I had to go do it all over again, I'd probably order like the biggest wrap, as well as maybe like, you know, an extra like half roll, if I'm being honest. Just because there were a few pieces on the car that aren't 100% how I wanted it to be. But I was like, you know, I don't have enough material to wrap the full car like another piece again to make it perfect. You want to have more material, the better, especially if you're starting out. So this next tip is mainly for my beginners out there. You know, you want to do as much preparation as you can before starting the wrap. And you want to make sure you watch as much videos as possible, get as much tips as you can before you start, because you don't want to go in, you know, and you're like, all right, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me go watch the video. You want to do all the preparation beforehand, just so when you start wrapping your car, you could just knock it out. So this tip is kind of like, it's kind of good, but it's also kind of bad, because if I'm being honest, nothing prepares you to wrap your car other than wrapping your car. So the only thing that I wrapped outside of my full car in the actual wrap is my car and Christmas wrap. You guys may have seen that video, and the only other thing that I wrapped was interior pieces and like carbon fiber. But if I'm being honest, you know, the materials aren't the same. Obviously, Christmas wrap is like actual paper. This is legit vinyl. So if you have the opportunity, you know, to just like wrap a hood from like a friend, or if you can like wrap a roof from somebody, you know, good practice is better than no practice. I watched so many videos just on how to wrap a hood that I even ripped through the first piece, bro. Like, no preparation is going to prepare you to wrap a car. Like, you can watch as much videos on how to wrap a door, how to wrap a fender, how to wrap the quarter panel, the roof, the freaking spoiler, the trunk. Nothing will prepare you other than wrapping something yourself. So if you have a friend, or you know, you want to just ask your grandparents, be like, hey, like, you know, your hood has some oxidation on it, you want to like wrap it black just so you don't see it, and then you just get a small piece of black wrap, a vinyl wrap, and you can just wrap it as practice. You know, like any practice, like I said, is good practice. So this tip, you know, watch as many videos as you can, but if you do have the opportunity to wrap something before you can wrap your car, I suggest you do that. So this tip is for those of you who feel like you can do everything. You know, you don't want to bother anyone because you don't want to be a nuisance to anyone. You feel like you can do this yourself. And I kind of feel that way myself. You know, I was at the beginning, I was like, you know, maybe I can do this by myself. I don't feel like bothering anyone because, you know, this is not anyone's car. This is my car. And this is like my project, you know, like, so you can definitely wrap your car yourself, but it will be much easier and much more fun if you have a couple people, either one or two or three even, helping you with this wrap. So if I'm being honest, you can tackle a lot of the car by yourself. You know, you can do the doors, you can do the door handles, you can do the fender, you can do the hood, you can do the roof, which I didn't do for an example. You can do that all by yourself, but you know, it's much more fun when you have a homie or two, just like, you know, you guys are cracking jokes, like ha ha ha, things like that, while doing the wrap. You find more enjoyment in it, and I find it a lot more fun. But if you're super independent and you're like, yo, like, I don't feel like bothering anyone, I feel like I can do this myself, it's definitely possible. You just gotta have the right tools, make sure you guys know how to do it, make sure you know what you're doing, and you should be all good. Like I said, it's a lot more fun, and you're doing it with the homies or your family, but it is possible to do it by yourself. So another tip I would like to give you guys, whether you're, you know, a seasoned vet at wrapping cars, or if you're the first time dude, girl, wrapping your car, make sure you have a lot of patience. There were so many times where I was like, yo, I am so over this. I don't even want to do this anymore. Take a breath. It's the first time wrapping a car. Got to be a little easy on yourself. Just be patient with it. You know, if you're wrapping your own car, there really is no deadline on when you want to finish. You know, you're on your own deadline. You're not trying to deliver this for somebody. You're trying to finish it for yourself. So make sure you have a lot of patience. And if it's your baby, you know, you want to make sure all the creases, all the corners are good. So don't get too hard on yourself, and you should be okay. You know, don't get too hard on yourself if it's taking longer than you expected. Especially if it's your first time wrapping a car. You know, if your deadline is like, I want to get it done in a week, I want to get it done in 2 weeks, but it ends up taking 3 weeks, but it looks super good, that's the story you got to tell, man. So this step, you know, was very important because I wish I knew this before. You know, I was anticipating having a lot of mishaps, so you better prepare yourself when wrapping your car. And the last tip I want to leave you guys with is make sure you have a lot of fun with it. You know, in the beginning, you're like, all right, I'm gonna wrap my car, it's gonna be a different color, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's gonna be like, ooh, you got a new color, blah, blah, blah. But the process is not gonna be easy. You will have some mishaps here and there, but make sure you have fun with it, man. You know, it's a good story to tell 5 years, maybe even 2 years down the line, like, hey, yo, I remember when I wrapped that car, because it is a long, enduring process, and you won't be disappointed with the results. So if I'm being honest, you know, this wrap is not 100%. It's not wrap shop work, but I'm super proud of it because we did it ourselves. And I thought it was more fun because, you know, I did it with my family, I did it with people that, you know, and have enjoyment seeing things transform into something that you envision. And when you envision something and other people get on board with what you envision, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable when it's finished. For the majority of you who have not seen the car yet, the wrap is not 100%. There are a lot of things that I wish I changed, or at least I wish I'd done better on. But you know, it is what it is. We did it ourselves, and I'm 100% proud of the job that we've done. So when I first started, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do the best I can. You know, it's gonna look freaking sick. And honestly, I think it came out actually really good. So when you're first starting off, you know, you're super excited. You're like, all right, you know, I'm gonna have a fire car. It's gonna be a different color, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to be a process, and you wanna make sure that you're enjoying every step of the journey, because it's going to be over sooner than you think. And as much as I hated wrapping my car because there was a few things that really pissed me off, make sure you enjoy it, because the process of seeing your car transform from one color to the other is super satisfying. And in 5-10 years, you can tell your kids, tell your grandkids, whatever it may be, like, hey, you know, this is my car and I wrapped it, you know, like I didn't take it to a shop. That's something we did. So make sure you're proud of it. It's a good story to tell if you are doing it yourself. So make sure you're enjoying the full process of wrapping your car. All right, y'all, so that's gonna do it for today's quick little video. You know, I just wanted to give you guys some tips, because I know this is something that a lot of people want to do, whether it's wrapping your car or just changing the color itself. And whether you want to do it yourself or you want to take it to a shop, I just wanted to give you guys some of my insights of what I wish I knew before I wrapped my car, just so you guys are kind of prepared when it comes to that point. So if you guys enjoyed today's video and you found this video helpful, definitely give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you share it with as much people as you can. But I appreciate you guys showing all the support for the car. The car is absolutely amazing. Little sneak peek, because I know a bunch of you aren't gonna see this. The new wheels are coming very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But until the next video, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.